This is a long-term review of the Mi Note 10, and of course you have to compare it with the P30 Pro because these phones really are trying to achieve basically the same thing and give you a very similar experience. There are some differences though. This is not a full camera test, I've already done that one, but I have noticed that after a couple of updates in the Mi Note 10, the camera seems to be getting even better. I have to say though, you can see here the P30 Pro is so much easier in video to zoom in and out. You still get the zoom options of 5 and 10 times on a button, whereas on the Mi Note 10, you have to pinch the screen and it's just not as convenient. Overall though, video off the main cameras is really similar, and for the price tag, the Mi Note 10 really does punch above its weight in the camera department. Xiaomi have really improved the camera app on this one. You have 1x, 2x and 5x options on the zoom when taking photo. The 5x optical zoom on the Mi Note 10 is really useful and it does give really crisp images even compared to the P30 Pro. And I do just give ease of use to the P30 Pro. I think overall as a camera app, Huawei really always do a great job, but man, the Mi Note 10 is really giving it a run for its money. I said this wasn't a camera test, but it's very hard not to compare these two without the cameras. I'm more and more impressed with the quality out of the Mi Note 10. Colors and exposure of the Mi Note 10 photos really have got better and better, and they are very comparable to the much more expensive P30 Pro. In my long-term usage, sometimes I think the P30 Pro takes better images, sometimes I think it's the Mi Note 10. Again, with the design, they really are the same. Both have that very subtle curved screen, although the Mi Note 10 has slightly smaller bezels overall. They both have a mono speaker at the bottom and the water drop notch, which is towards the end of its life cycle right now. The Kirin 980 in the P30 Pro isn't the latest flagship. Huawei have updated that with the Kirin 990. But it is still very capable. Using the phone, just flicking through apps, you won't notice much difference here. And the way that they load games and more intensive apps, for example PUBG, again was very comparable. The Mi Note 10 has a Snapdragon 712 processor though, towards the lower end of mid-range, and is about to be replaced by a new crop of much more powerful processors too. If you don't think you need a really powerful phone because you very rarely or never play games like PUBG, then really the 712 is about all you're going to need. However, you have to make the decision if you think a few years down the line whether that processor still will be enough for you. I would love to see a flagship processor along with all the camera hardware that Xiaomi put in the Mi Note 10. We might not have to wait long, the Mi 10 is around the corner, but for now this phone did a great job. The 712 not being a even high mid-range processor shows when gaming though. You cannot use high refresh rate modes, whereas on the P30 Pro you can, and that's going to help gaming so much. The actual experience of gaming is very similar on both of them because they both have that mono speaker at the bottom. The P30 Pro does add in-screen audio, but it doesn't really change much. It is a very similar experience across both. I did notice that on the P30 Pro, as you can see here, the colors of the game were a little bit different. And again, the screen quality of both, I did notice some slight color calibration differences, but nothing that will be a difference if you're just using one phone. Both use under-screen fingerprint sensors. The Mi Note 10 apparently uses a much bigger optical sensor, but they both unlock in around about the same time. They obviously both have Face ID as well, which again was extremely comparable between the two phones. Really, I think the biggest difference between these two is probably the price and the operating system. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and review videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.